Recording.
So here I am on a 2013 BMW R1200GS. I am doing a little shopping today, find out what I want to replace my 2014 BMW F700GS. So naturally the big brother was first on my list to take a look at. This is, as I said, the 2013, which makes it the first year for the water-cooled engine. So far, so good. It's a little undersprung for me, I think, right now, or a little bit stiff. I'm not 100% sure which way it's going. There's some adjustability that's able to be done. Very comfortable, feel right at home. The seat's a little bit wider, but that's in a good way. Just take it through this small little part of town. Fancy rich people in Carmel drive down their fancy roads. So far, the thing that I'm noticing the most is much better wind protection. It's night and day different. I've got nothing hitting me directly in the face, nothing in the shoulders, and I rode my bike to the dealership. It's a bit of a windy day today, and I was getting thrown all over the place. You wouldn't have been able to hear me if I was talking directly into this microphone. Let me close that vent just to make sure that I'm getting pretty good audio and you guys aren't hearing nothing but wind. It's a gorgeous day out today. It's 68 to 71, depending on which thermometer on the side of a bank you're looking at. This one's in red. It has been used, not a lot of miles, 12,364 miles is what it's showing. Not the most mileage I've seen on a 2013, but it does have some wear from other things. The front end of this thing has some dings and some things that have been strapped to it, some things have been stuck to it. Looks like there was a camera mount that's on the front of this that's been taken off. Now this did have panniers on it. Those have since been taken off. It does not have hand guards on it, which I'm not sure where those would have gone. Those are kind of a new must-have for me. I'm getting too old to have cold hands. I just don't need it. They make too many things that can take care of that. Taking some of these quicker roads, roundabouts here, nothing but roundabouts in Carmel. You don't really get stoplights anymore. It's roundabout central. I say rich people. This is where I work. I'm here every day, so I get to enjoy these really nicely manicured roads is really what it is. The roads here are top-notch. They're taken care of. Glad I don't have to pay the property taxes, but that's the way that goes. You said there's a wind. I'm being pushed around a little bit on it, but much, much less than what was on my bike. It's just a much more comfortable, and I feel more confident in it just being a heavier machine. My bike, even with my 206 to 211 pounds, depending on how much pizza I've eaten in the last couple of days, it doesn't have the presence on the road that this has. Much larger front area. My legs are even pretty protected. I followed a mulch truck on the way here to test ride this bike, and I got my legs beat up pretty good by pieces of mulch jumping up, and That's to be expected, I guess, when you're riding on the highway. Some things get kicked up at you, but still not very fun. This has, you know, the 2 cylinders opposed directly in front of my legs already, so I do not have to worry about that too much. Just all the low-end power, the ease of this thing to just tractor up from really low RPMs and just move itself along. That's one of the best things about this bike and what I've really come to expect. The F700 is actually pretty good with the low RPM grunt. Now, you know, with it being a 700GS, it's actually a 798cc. They took a lot of the top end power out of it between that and the 800, since it shares an engine, and most of the stuff is very similar. But you can't take all of the torque out when you're just having that much displacement. They didn't lose too much torque in the D-tune from the 800 to the 700. But this being a first year for the water cooled, you've got the advancements. It is showing 73.5 degrees outside right now, which is nice. It's just very comfortable. I just don't have any complaints about this right now. I'm not really driven too far and too fast. Try not to get run over here in the middle of town. Nobody likes to stop at roundabouts. We've had them for years and people still cannot figure out how to use them. A lot of YouTube channels are doing new bike reviews. I'm definitely going to be behind the times on doing a 2013 R1200GS. However, yeah, this is what I'm shopping for a motorcycle, so I'm not going to leave anything out there. And for the budget, this is a lot of motorcycle, and there's a lot of options that can be done. BMW does not skimp on the amount of accessories that are available specifically from BMW, so there's always that, plus all the aftermarket. Touratech seems to have made its name in BMW accessories. I know I've got a couple of things that are in my wish list from Touratech. Brakes are really good. The clutch I'm not as used to. It's a hydraulic clutch, and mine is a manual clutch, and we'll see how that goes. It's very, very light, much lighter than what I'm expecting and what I'm used to. Not unnervingly slow, and mine is not incredibly hard to use to begin with, but something to get used to. Like that right there where I killed it because I'm not used to the clutch. Being careful. It's not my bike. I don't want to have to buy it. I just want to have the option to buy it when I'm ready to make a decision. There are a few other bikes out there that I want to take a look at. My local Triumph dealer does not yet have a 900 Tiger yet. They actually have one, but they do not have a demo yet. And I would like to take a look at that. That's on the list as well. There's so many good bikes out there right now. So many good adventure bikes. That's the new hot bike market, and everybody seems to be making a new one and trying to cash in on that the new thing. It was cafe racers before, and now we're into adventure bikes. So I think the Scrambler is going to be the next thing. Triumph's new Scrambler XE. Ducati's got their Scrambler. Triumph has their smaller, the Street Scrambler. Yamaha with their SCR. We're going to see a lot of Scramblers coming out here after too long. People that don't necessarily want all of the adventure bike, but want some of the throwback styling and the utility of having the knobblier tires on it. Let's take her on the interstate and see what she does. I'm not expecting anything bad. This has already been very comfortable for me for riding at the semi-higher rates of speed through some of these faster roads between the dealership and this part of town. Over here in Castleton, there's a lot of stuff that's closed right now because we are coronavirus quarantine. So people aren't open. Most of the shops are not open. There's a lot of places that just aren't able to do any business right now. So even though there's a lot of traffic on the roads, there's not a lot of businesses open. So now up to highway speed. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to have to blur that out or not. Nobody really knows what the speed limit is here. It's not the slowest or the fastest street in the world. That bump was incredibly rough. The bike absorbed a bunch of it, but I did get a bunch of it shoved up into my hands. I'm not sure what the suspension settings really are at. It would obviously have to be set up for me if I were to ride this bike or buy this bike. Get it adjusted down. I've had to do a lot of adjustments to the rear end of my 700, as it's the only one that is adjustable. Apparently, I'm much heavier than the person that owned it before, or they liked a much softer ride. But yeah, even at this increased rate of speed with semi-traffic, I'm still getting no real turbulent air at my face and shoulders, which is the biggest complaint that I have about my bike currently. It's very rough to ride in highway speeds. This does have cruise control. I did not get a chance to use that as we were not on the highway for very long. I could have gone longer. It's not really what this is about. I'm not trying to take this all the way to Ohio or Michigan or Kentucky. I definitely don't want to go to Illinois, so that's something. Even though my family lives in Illinois, that's the only reason to go there. If you have business in Illinois, maybe try to move it. It's probably not worth having there. But that's my own politics, and I will probably edit this out of the video. So that's not even going to make it. So fun. Till their daddy takes a T-bird away. Overall, incredibly nice bike. I do like this very much. I think I might like to look at the newer ones a little bit more. We don't currently have a BMW dealer in town. The one where I bought my bike is currently out of business. The dealership where I picked this up today is going to become a BMW dealer once everything takes its time to get figured out. But everything has been slowed down due to the virus. The virus that will kill us all. But that's my ride for today. I'll maybe insert some information about the bike and what I think about it along the way. But I did very much enjoy this ride. It's not at all a bad purchase, especially for the money. I don't want to say how much this is because I don't want to affect the market. And if I buy it, I don't want anybody to complain. Find that I do not like the little extension for the kickstand right there. That's not my favorite, but everything else seems to be all right. Well, I'm going to sign off.